Good day everyone. In this video, we're going to present about security operations and its related topics. What is network security operations? A network security operations center is a centralized location where engineers and technicians monitor the status of an IT network for client. The network security operations job role acts the liaison with a customer to ensure requirements are clear, well-defined, and supported. The goal is to reduce downtime and keep operations going by scheduling and patches that may affect the flow of the business. Network security protects your network and data from breaches, intrusions, and other threats. This is a vast and overarching term that describes hardware and software solutions as well as processes our rules and configurations relating to network use, accessibility, and overall threat protection. It involves access control, virus software, application security, network analytics, types of network-related security, which are endpoint, web, and wireless. Also, the firewalls, VPN encryption, and benefits of network security. A network security is vital in protecting client data and information, keeping shared data secure and ensuring reliable access and network performance, as well as protection from cyber threats. It is also a well-designed network security solution, reduces overhead expenses, and safeguards organizations from costly losses that occur from a data breach or other security incident. It is also ensuring legitimate access to systems, applications, and data enables business operations and delivery of services and products to customers. Types of network security protections. The first one is the firewall. It is control incoming and outgoing traffic on network with predetermined security rules. The second one is the network segmentation. It defines boundaries between network segments where assets within the group have common function, rest of roles within an organization. And now, let's proceed to access control. What is access control? Access control defines the people or groups and the devices that have access to network applications and systems, thereby denying unsanctioned access and maybe threats. Integration with identity and access management products can strongly identify the user and role-based access. Policies ensure the person and device are authorized access to the asset. Here are some examples of network security. Remote Access VPN. It provides remote and secure access to a company network to individual hosts or clients, such as telecommuters, mobile users, and extranet consumers. The second one is the Zero Trust Network Access. The Zero Trust security model states that a user should only have the access and permissions that they require to fulfill the role. It also known as software-defined perimeter solutions, permits granular access to an organization's applications from users who require that access to perform their duties. The third one is email security. Email security refers to any processes, products, and services designed to protect your email content safe from external threats. Data loss prevention is a cybersecurity methodology that combines technology and best practices to prevent the exposure of sensitive information outside of the organization, especially related data such as personally identifiable information and compliance-related data such as HIPAA, SOX, PCI, DSS, and etc. Let's proceed to intrusion prevention. IPS technologies can detect or prevent network security attacks such as brute force attacks, denial of service attacks, and exploits of known vulnerabilities. An intrusion prevention system can be used in these cases to quickly block these attacks. When an exploit is announced, there is often a window of opportunity for attackers to exploit that vulnerability before the security patch is applied. And the next one is the sandboxing. Sandboxing is a cybersecurity practice where you run codes or open files in a safe, isolated environment on a mouse machine that mimics end-user operating environments. Let's proceed to hyperscale network security. It is the ability of an architecture to scale appropriately as increased demand is added to the system. This solution includes rapid deployment and scaling up or down to meet changes in network security demands. And the last one is the cloud network security. Applications and workloads, one no longer exclusively hosted or premises in a local data center. Protecting the modern data center requires greater flexibility and innovation to keep pace with the migration of the application workloads to the cloud.
So now, let's go to the next topic, which is the security operations in information security. I am Darlina Mayola and I will be going to report this part. So, what is information security? InfoSec, or information security, is a set of tools and practices that you can use to protect your digital and analog information. It covers a range of IT domains, including infrastructure and network security, auditing, and testing. It also enables organizations to protect digital and analog information. InfoSec, or information security, provides coverage for cryptography, mobile computing, social media, as well as infrastructure and networks containing private, financial, and corporate information. So, information security uses tools like authentication and permissions to protect unauthorized users from accessing private information. These measures help you prevent harms related to information thefts, modification, and loss. And now, let's go to information security versus cybersecurity. So, information security is a broader category of protections covering cryptography, mobile computing, and social media. It is related to information assurance used to protect information from non-person-based threats such as server failures or natural disasters. In comparison, cybersecurity only covers internet-based threats and digital data. In addition to that, cybersecurity also provides coverage for raw and classified data, while information security does not. The CIA triad consists of 3 core principles. Together, these principles serve as the foundation that guides information security policies. So, here's a brief overview of each principle. So first is confidentiality. The information must only be available to authorized parties. Second, integrity. The information must remain consistent, trustworthy, and accurate. Third, the availability. The information must remain accessible to authorized parties, even during failures, or with minimal or no disruption. These 3 principles should guide organizations while assessing new technologies and scenarios. So, there are 7 types of information security. First is the application security. It protects applications and application programming interfaces, or APIs. You can use these strategies to prevent, detect, and correct bugs or other vulnerabilities in your applications. If not secured, application and API vulnerabilities can provide a gateway to your broader systems, putting your information at risk. Second is the infrastructure security. It protects infrastructure components including networks, servers, client devices, mobile devices, and data centers. The growing connectivity between these and other infrastructure's components puts information at risk without proper precautions. Third is the cloud security. It provides similar protections to application and infrastructure security but is focused on cloud or cloud-connected components and information. Cloud security also adds extra protections and tools to focus on the vulnerabilities that come from internet-facing services and shared environments such as public clouds. Fourth is the cryptography. It uses a practice called encryption to secure information by obscuring the contents. When information is encrypted, it is only accessible to users who have the correct encryption key. Fifth is the incident response. It is a set of procedures and tools that you can use to identify, investigate, and respond to threats or damaging events. It eliminates or reduces damage caused to systems due to attacks, natural disasters, system failures, or human error. These damages includes any harm caused to information such as loss or theft. Sixth is the vulnerability management. It is a practice meant to reduce inherent risk in an application or system. The idea behind this practice is to discover and patch vulnerabilities before issues are exposed or exploited. The fewer vulnerabilities a component or system has, the more secure your information and resources are. Lastly is the incident response. It protects your organization from loss or damage due to unforeseen events. For example, ransomware, natural disasters, or single points of failure. Disaster recovery strategies typically account for how you can recover information, how you can restore systems, and how you can resume operation. These strategies are often part of a business continuity management or BCM plan, designed to enable organizations to maintain operations with minimal downtime. So, let's proceed to CISO. What is a CISO? CISO means Chief Information Security Officer, are people responsible for managing and ensuring the protection of an organization's information. This role may be a standalone position or be included under the responsibilities of a Vice President of Security or the Chief Security Officer or CISO. The CISO also has responsibilities include managing the security operations, cyber risk and cyber intelligence, data loss and fraud prevention, security architecture, identity and access management, program management, investigations and forensics, and also governance. So, what is a Security Operations Center or SOC? It is a collection of tools and team members that continuously monitor and ensure an organization's security. It also serves as a unified base from which teams can detect, investigate, respond to, and recover from security threat or vulnerability. In particular, Security Operations Center are designed to help organizations prevent and manage cybersecurity threats. Now, there are three main models that are used to implement the Security Operations Centers. So, first is the Internal Security Operations Center. It composed of dedicated employees operating from inside an organization. These centers provide the highest level of control but have high upfront cost and can be challenging to staff due to difficulty recruiting staff with the right expertise. These SOCs are typically created by enterprise organizations with mature IT and security strategies. Next is the Virtual Security Operations Center. It uses manage third-party services to provide coverage and expertise for operations. These centers are easy to set up, high scalable, and require fewer upfront costs. Then last is the Hybrid Security Operations Center. It combines in-house teams with outsourced teams. These centers use managed services to supplement gaps in coverage or expertise. For example, to ensure 24/7 monitoring without having to arrange internal overnight shifts, hybrid security operation centers can enable organizations to maintain a higher level of control and visibility without sacrificing security. And now, let's go to the common information security risk. So we have the social engineering attacks. It involves using psychology to trick users into providing information or access to attackers. Phishing is one common type of social engineering, usually done through email. In phishing attacks, attackers pretend to be trustworthy or legitimate sources, requesting information or warning users about a need to take action. For example, emails may ask users to confirm personal details or logged. For example, emails may ask users to confirm personal details or log into their accounts via an included link or malicious link. If users comply, attackers can gain access to credentials or other sensitive information. Then, the insider threats. These are the vulnerabilities created by individuals within your organization. These threats may be accidental or intentional and involve attackers abusing legitimate privileges to access systems or information. Then, next, we have the cryptojacking. It also called crypto mining. It is when attackers abuse your system resource to mine cryptocurrency. Attackers typically accomplish this by tricking users into downloading malware when user open files with malicious scripts included. Then, the distributed denial of service, or the DDoS. Its attacks occur when attackers overload servers or resources with requests. The attackers can perform these attacks manually or through botnets, networks of compromised devices used to distribute request sources. Ransomware is also one of the common information security risks, which attack uses malware to encrypt our data and hold it for ransom. Typically, attackers demand information that some action be taken or payment from an organization in exchange for decrypting the data. There are multiple types of man-in-the-middle or MITM attacks. It includes session hijacking, in which attackers substitute their own IP address for legitimate users to use their session and credentials to gain system access. Then, the IP spoofing, in which attackers imitate trusted sources to send malicious information to a system or request information back. Then, the eavesdropping attacks, in which attackers collect information passed in communications between legitimate users and your systems. So, let's go to the information security technologies. First, we have firewalls. These are a layer of protection that you can apply to networks or applications. These tools enables you to filter traffic and report traffic data and monitoring detection systems. So, firewalls also often use established lists of approved or unapproved traffic and policies determining the rate or volume of traffic allowed. Next is the Security Incident and Event Management, or SIEM. It enables you to ingest and correlate information from across your system. This aggregation of data enables teams to detect threats more effectively, manage alerts, and provide better context for investigations. Then, data loss prevention or DLP. These are strategies incorporate tools and practices that protect data from loss or modification. This includes categorizing data, backing up data, and monitoring how data is shared across and outside the organization. Then we have the Intrusion Detection System or IDS. It is tools for monitoring incoming traffic and detecting threats. These tools evaluate traffic and alert on any instances that appear suspicious or malicious. Next is the Intrusion Prevention System or IPS. It is also similar to IDS solutions, and the two are often used together. This solution responds to traffic that is identified as suspicious or malicious, blocking requests or ending user session. You can use IPS solutions to manage your network traffic according to defined security policies. Then we have the User Behavioral Analytics or UBA. It gathers information on user activities and correlate those behaviors into a baseline. Solutions then use this baseline as a comparison against new behaviors to identify inconsistencies. The solution then flags these inconsistencies as potential threats. Then the blockchain cybersecurity. Technology that relies on immutable transactional events. In blockchain technologies, distributed networks of users verify the authenticity of transaction and ensure that integrity is maintained. Next is the Endpoint Detection and Response or EDR. It enables you to monitor endpoint activity, identify suspicious activity, and automatically respond to threat. These solutions are intended to improve the visibility of endpoint devices and can be used to prevent threats from entering your networks or information from leaving. Then, we have the Cloud Security Posture Management or CSPM. It enables you to scan configurations, compare protection to benchmarks, and ensure that security policies are applied uniformly. CSPM solutions often provide recommendations or guidelines for remediation that you can use to improve your security posture. Then the VPN Remote Access and the SASE. It enables organizations to provide secure remote access to data and applications residing within a corporate network. A VPN creates a tunnel between the network and a remote user. It secures traffic flowing across the tunnel by encrypting it. Then lastly is the BYOD or Bring Your Own Device. It is an approach that permits employees to use their personally owned devices such as laptops, tablets, smartphones, USB drives, and PCs for work purposes. It means employees can use their devices to connect to the corporate network and access sensitive systems and confidential data. The examples of information security in the real world. One is the DLP at Berkshire Bank. It is an example of a company that decided to restructure its DLP strategy. Second is the SOC or Security Operations Center at Grant Thornton. It is an organization that partnered with Exabeam to improve its operations center. Third is the Incident Response at WSU. To defend against a growing number of advanced threat actors, Wright State University or WSU implemented Exabeam Incident Response Solutions. And that's all for the security operations and the information security. And now, let's go to the next topic, which is the security operations and operation security.
Operation security in security operation. What is operation security? Operation security is a process that identifies seemingly innocuous actions that could inadvertently reveal critical or sensitive data to cybercriminal. It is also a security and management process and strategy that then determines what is required to protect sensitive information and prevent it from getting into the wrong hands. Why is operation security important? Operation security is important because it encourages organizations to closely assess the security risk they face and spot potential vulnerabilities that a typical data security approach may not. Operation security enables IT and security teams to fine-tune their technical and non-technical processes while reducing their cyber risk and safeguarding them against malware-based attacks.
So, what are the 5 steps in OPSEC? First, identify critical information. The first step is to determine what data would be particularly harmful to the organization if an adversary obtained it. Second, analyze threats. The next step is to identify who is a threat to the organization's critical information. Third is analyze vulnerabilities. In the vulnerability analysis stage, the organization examines potential weaknesses among the safeguards in place to protect critical information and identify which one leaves to be vulnerable. Fourth, assess risk. The next step is to determine the threat level associated with each of the identified vulnerabilities. Fifth is apply appropriate countermeasures. The last step involves deploying an operational security plan that will reduce the risk.
Here are operation security best practices. The first one is change management processes. Companies must put change management processes in place for employees to follow when adjustments are made to the network. The second one is restrict device access. Organizations should only allow devices to access their networks that absolutely must have that access, and they should use network device authentication. The third one is implement least privilege access. Businesses must assign employees the minimum level of access to networks, data, and resources they need to successfully perform their jobs. And the fourth one is deploy dual control. Companies must ensure the teams and individuals responsible for maintaining the corporate network are separate from the teams and individuals responsible for setting security policies. The fifth is implement automation. People are typically the weakest links when it comes to enterprise security. Humans make errors inadvertently or on purpose, causing data to end up in the wrong hands, overlooking or forgetting important details, and bypassing critical processes. And the last one is craft a disaster recovery plan. A key part of any information security defense is to plan for disaster and implement a strong incident response plan. Even the most fully functional operation security program must be accompanied by disaster plan identifying risk and detailing how a company will respond to cyber attacks and limit potential danger.
Then let's go to the operational security and risk management. OPSEC encourages managers to view operations and projects from the outside, in that is from the perspective of competitors or enemies, in order to identify weaknesses. It also encompasses the ability to identify vulnerabilities and threats before they turn into real issues. Operational security forces managers to do in-depth analysis into their operations and determine where sensitive data can be easily breached. So, what is operational security in cybersecurity? It is a process that organizations deploy to prevent sensitive information from getting into the wrong hands. OPSEC identifies actions that may seem innocuous but could inadvertently result in critical or sensitive data being revealed or leaked to a potential attacker.
Impact of privacy laws on information security policies. The principle of confidentiality seeks to prevent the disclosure of sensitive data to unauthorized entities. It doesn't focus on hiding the identity of the owner of the data or making it impossible to link the data and its owner. It is also the principles of information security such as confidentiality, integrity, and availability are not equivalent to the features that should be secured in information privacy such as anonymity, the inability to link, the inability to distinguish, the inability to track, and the pseudonymia. While the exercise of information protection strategies ensures correct access, privacy protection demands the blurring of data to avoid identifying it, dismantling all kinds of links between data and its owner, facilitating the use of pseudonyms and alternate names, and allowing access anonymously.